this is the way.
What's up, this is Jake with VFX To Go, and I'm bringing you another breakdown of the breakdown where we scrub through VFX reels from some of the top visual effects studios in the film industry. And today, we're looking at a VFX reel from Hybride from Ubisoft and their work on Mandalorian Season 3. Let's check it out. Alright, I'm going to pause right here because I see something really cool here that it's a little bit of a flex. I like it when these VFX houses do a little bit of a flex on their breakdowns because they're going an extra mile. In this case, if you look closely on the reflection of the word the Mandalorian, you'll see the ship's reflection is actually right there in the letters. And what they've done is they've taken their project file and they've added the 3D layer of the letters there so that the model is accurately reflected off of it. It's a small touch and completely unnecessary, but kind of awesome that they did it. I like that. Let's move on. All right, this is a really great example of what you can do with very little. I'm going to scrub through this, and as we're looking, we see this is the original plate that we were working with. They've only got a couple of storefronts there, and on the right we've got a couple of crew, all COVID safe with their masks. That's fantastic. But we've also got big panels of blue screen, and I'm thinking that with all the replacement work they're doing here and all the rotoscoping they're eventually going to have to do, a lot of that blue screen is just for reference up to a certain point. Let's scrub through and see what exactly they've added or replaced entirely. All right, I'm going to scrub through slowly here. And it looks like they kept just a bit of this store on the right. If we back it up a little bit more, just a little bit of this store here. But even the store next to it, right here, has gotten the full replacement treatment there. And of course, we've got Grogu or Baby Yoda floating there as a fully CG character. Well rendered. Also, keep in mind, we're looking at the ground as well. So there's actually a shadow right here from the buildings on the left. And as we look, they've replaced all those shadows too. So that means so much of the scene had to be rotoscoped anyway. All of the Mandalorian is rotoscoped. All these people over here, I mean, even with the blue screen that they have, I imagine, especially with this guy with the blue robes, he's just getting rotoscoped anyway. It's always rotoscope. Even with blue screens, they're always rotoscoping something. But fantastic work there. And that there is a incredible example of the amount of work they're doing to replace the background. Hey, we have an animatronic Baby Yoda. Grogu. We have an animatronic Grogu. The bottom of it gets replaced. See, you can see here that there's a little section of the bottom of his basket, baby stroller. I don't know. You can see the bottom of his floaty thing here is actually missing a little panel for that rod to come up from underneath and for all the controls to come through. You see that just gets painted over. I doubt that's even a 3D model. I bet it's just a quick paint over. Look, in this scene, there's virtually nothing behind him. Really is nothing behind him. And everybody in that scene, in the background, aside from this person walking up on the left, is completely digital. That is some incredible work. I mean, it's really smooth. Here's a great example of the set extensions that they're adding here. For a show that's really known for using something like the volume, I've so far in this reel have not seen any bit of them shooting on the volume. This is really interesting. They're really going with a lot of blue screen here and keeping it fairly traditional as far as how they shoot this. So let's scrub through. So we've got a fair bit of crowd here, but only on the inside of this line here is actual actors. And outside of it is our digital extras. Beautifully done. Wow, this is cool. That's a nice little flex, too. I love seeing these VFX studios going the extra mile and adding that little extra something. I mean, they even render in motion blur. You don't need to do that, but you did, and it looks great. This is showing me that every single one of them is a 3D model that moves. It's not just some 2D plane of an extra or a character. These are all fleshed out 3D models so they can get any angle they want from this scene. Beautifully done. And we probably have in the foreground some live action people here. Great renders. Okay, they give us a snippet of the actual plate. They've already come into the shot mid-wipe, but we see half of it at least. So let's take a look. I mean, it looks like they've got some atmosphere here in the background, which I don't typically recommend if you're shooting on blue screen or green screen for that matter. But again, this is Star Wars. They can afford to clean these things up. So it looks like we've got some Mandalorians in the back. We've got some Mandalorians to the right. Let's scrub through it slowly so we can see what they've added. Which is interesting because they added a whole bunch of Mandalorians here in the middle, and they've kept some live action actors in the background rather than making all the people in the farthest back digital. Typically, you'd want to see your digital characters in the back and your hero live action performers in the midground or closer, because you're going to get much more detail. And in the background, you don't have to worry as much about that uncanny valley if all your digital characters are filling in the background. But in this case, it looks like they brought them to the midground. I mean, I guess it's actually easier to comp them in if they're in front of people, then you don't have to rotoscope those people. But there's so much work that's happening here. I don't imagine that would be a problem, but interesting. And there you go. That's the final shot. And it's seamless. It's beautiful. Now we've actually got some shots that have been filmed on the volume. Let's take a look. And they replaced it anyway? I mean, I guess you can. Again, for shooting on the volume, they shoot a lot of blue screen. All right, now let's see what went into making this, because I see some really interesting things here. They show us that the whole set is actually CG. They've replaced the whole set even though they have it physically there. They have these cutouts, so it looks like they want to get a particular type of God ray coming through the sky, but then they just replace and render out the background anyway. I have a feeling like comparing this frame to this, as you can see right here, they have to replace some of it anyway, because of they've got the little lip here for the opening at the bottom where the controls go through, and they have the shadows that come bouncing off the floor and create these shadows across the bottom of the bassinet, so maybe they're replacing part of the bassinet too. Taking a look at his helmet, let's look at the reflection right here. I'm going to back it up to the final shot. They've added some softness to it, and they want the shadow to look more like the ship, so they've added a little extra there, because as we go back through it, you can see some stuff, can't really tell what it is, but these look like cutouts of the blue screen. So there's a lot of work these guys have to do to cleaning up reflections off of his suit. Yeah, look at his shoulder too. We're looking closely at that shoulder. Here it is, the final, but we come across. So they've softened and dulled the reflection a little bit to hide some of what the reflections are revealing. If you're going to flex already and go the extra mile, I mean, assemble your ships in real time. They have a practical ship here for the X-Wing. to an extent. If you look at the beginning of the wipe, we see that it gets cut off right there. It gets replaced. So let's back it up. Yep, they even cleaned up some of those scratches as it comes in. So the scratches are just moved. Maybe they're moved down a little bit. I wonder if they just borrowed some of it and shifted it down rather than trying to match move an entire ship onto it. It's possible. Oh no, they still match moved an entire ship over it. Okay, you can see a little taste of what they're working with over here. They've even got a little wire that pulls it up. I love that. So they're only working with a little bit. Let's scrub through. I mean, there's a soft blend around here, but they've replaced pretty much everything along the shoreline and up to the X-Wing right there. So beautifully done. That's great. All these digital extras to fill in your scene. And the floating frog. Oh, they're... Look at them showing off. Beautiful work. And that was Hybride from Ubisoft and their work on The Mandalorian Season 3. Fantastic work. It's incredible, really. I mean, again, people seem to really talk about and focus on their use of the LED volume, and I know that they use it a lot on this show, but in this reel, it shows that, yes, they do, but they also use other things too. If you like that reel that we just watched, check out the link below and watch the whole thing and give them the love they deserve. If you notice something that I didn't, or if you have insight as to how some of these shots were done, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And if you know of a VFX reel that I need to check out, please send it my way. If you like this breakdown, please throw us a like and subscribe. We always appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the bell for notification as to when our next video comes out. You can find us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at VFX2Go, and our website, VFX2Go.com. I've been Jake, and this has been another Breakdown of the Breakdown. Take care.